Hello students, today's topic is electrical machines. In this part, we'll be discussing about the speed control of the three-phase induction motor, and we will see the stator side speed control and the rotor side speed control. The speed control of three-phase induction motor is a very important topic. Why? Because three-phase induction motor is a constant speed motor, so it is difficult to control its speed, and it is done at the cost that we are decreasing the efficiency and we are having low electrical power factor. So this is how the speed is controlled, but we need variable frequency drives, we need speed control, so have to do the speed control. So let us see this. So before going to the speed control, we'll be discussing some basic terms again. Then ns is the synchronous speed at which the mmf, the flux rotor revolving magnetic field rotates. So ns is given as 120 f upon p, where f is the frequency, p is the number of poles. Then slip is given as ns minus nr upon ns, where nr is the rotor speed, and you can equate nr as such. Now coming to the torque equation of three-phase induction motor, we have studied this. This is the torque equation of three-phase induction motor. Now if slip is 1, at what time? When nr is 0, means rotor is at standstill, the slip will be 1. So at that time, that time standstill time, at the starting time, the torque will be given as such. So torque is directly proportional to the square of E2 voltage, directly proportional to R2, and this all. This is the constant. So we'll be discussing the speed control. So the speed control can be done from both the sides, the stator side of the machine and the rotor side of the machine. So if we need to do from the stator side, there are four types: V by F control or frequency control, if we change the number of stator poles, if we control the supply voltage, or if we add the rheostat in the stator circuit. Now the speed control for the three-phase induction motor for rotor side can be done by adding external resistances, cascaded control method, injecting slip frequency EMF into the rotor side. So one by one we'll be discussing this each method. So now we'll be discussing the V by F control or frequency control method. So we know that the synchronous speed is given as such. Now induced EMF in a three-phase induction motor is somewhat similar as the transformer, because this is induction motor. Okay, I stands for the induction. It is based on the induction principle, the electromagnetic induction principle of Faraday. So that same principle, the transformer EMF is induced. So EMF induced in the three-phase induction motor is also given of this form: 4.44 flux into K into number of turns T into F frequency. K is winding factor. So from this equation we can calculate flux as V upon 4.44 KTF. Now if we change this frequency, then flux will change. Okay, so if we increase the frequency, flux will decrease, and if we decrease the frequency, flux will increase. But in induction the flux should be constant. Okay, if we change the value of flux, it will cause saturation, and the rotor core and the stator core will cause increase in the no load current of the motor. So we need to maintain the flux constant. In order to maintain the flux constant, what we will be doing? We will be controlling V by F. Means if we are decreasing the frequency, we will be decreasing the voltage also. If we are increasing the frequency, then we will be increasing the voltage also, so that the V by F ratio is constant, so that the flux is constant. Then we can control the speed. If we are controlling the flux, then definitely we can control this E, and then definitely we can control the torque and the speed. Okay, so we need to have some variable voltage supply for this and variable frequency supply. Now if we need to control the supply voltage, how we are supposed to control the supply voltage? This is the torque. So torque is directly proportional to this quantity. Here in low slip region, we have studied when the slip is low, we have studied the torque slip characteristics in previous video, right? So if the slip is low, then this S into x2 will be very low. Okay, so this s into x2 square will be much lower, so we can neglect this portion. So the torque will be just s e2 square r2 upon r2 square, which will be equals to s e2 square upon r2. And the rotor resistance is also very small, so we are not changing it, so we don't bother with the rotor resistance. So torque is directly proportional to s into et square, E2 square. So this induced EMF is directly proportional to the applied voltage. So torque can be written as it is directly proportional to slip into applied voltage V square. So if we decrease the supply voltage, torque will also decrease. Okay. So uh, the torque must remain the same. So how in order for the torque to remain same, we need to increase the slip. So if slip will increase, then what will happen? The motor will run at a reduced speed, and this is a method how we can control speed of the motor. So this requires large reduction in voltage. So if we will reduce the voltage by means we are going to reduce the voltage, then we will be having some high current driven from the motor. So this method is not used as usually. Now we can change the number of stator poles, and in this method we have again two types. We can change it by multiple stator winding method, or we can change it by pole amplitude modulation method. So in multiple stator winding, what happens? We have two separate windings, and these windings are electrically isolated from it. Means one winding is wound for some the other number of poles, and the other winding is wound for some different number of poles. Then we have a switch arrangement that when we supply three-phase supply to the stator, then one type of winding will switch at a time. So we can, by changing the number of poles, we can control the speed of the revolving magnetic field, and so we can control the speed of the induction motor. So this can be done only to squirrel cage induction motor. This won't be applicable in the slip ring induction motor. Now the next one is the pole amplitude modulation method. What we do in this, the original sinusoidal MMF wave, okay, the original that revolving sinusoidal MMF wave, magnetomotive force wave, which is produced, we modulate it. Okay, we try to change its frequency or something like that. So we modulate it by another sinusoidal wave with different number of poles, so that the resultant MMF will be having different number of poles. So if it is cumulative, then it will be P1 plus P2. If it is not if it is differential, then it will be P1 minus P2. So if we change the number of poles, then easily we can change the synchronous speed, and if we can change the synchronous speed, then surely the rotor speed can be varying. So this is how speed control is done. Now the other method is adding rheostat in the stator circuit. What is a rheostat? Rheostat is a variable resistance. If we add some rheostat, okay, if we add a variable resistor in the stator circuit, then definitely the voltage which is getting, it will get drop. Okay, as we have seen in starters also, how we start at a low voltage. Okay, so three-phase induction motor torque is directly proportional to S into V2 square or E2 square. This we have already seen. So if we decrease the supply voltage, torque will also decrease. So but we always need to keep the torque same. So we need to keep the torque same means we have to increase the slip. So if we are increasing the slip, okay, slip is increasing, then what will change? The rotor speed will change. So rotor speed will reduce if slip is high, that means rotor speed is low. So like that we can control the speed of a three-phase induction motor. Now coming to the speed control of three-phase induction motor from the rotor side. So in rotor side, what we can do, we can add external resistance on the rotor side. Now we know that torque is directly proportional to this. So for low slip reason, this quantity will be very small, so we have removed this quantity is fixed, suppose, okay, the applied voltage is fixed, so torque will be directly proportional to S upon R2. So torque is inversely proportional to the rotor resistance. So if we increase the rotor resistance, torque will decrease. Okay, but in order to supply the same load torque, again we need to increase the slip. So if we are increasing the slip, if we are increasing the rotor resistance, then we need to increase slip. Okay, so if we are increasing slip, then again the same concepts come, that increase in slip will decrease the rotor speed, and this is how we can control it. And uh, this will also help. See, we have studied that for phase wound or for slip ring induction motor, that we for starting that we can use this addition of external resistance. Okay, so this will also reduce the starting torque also, so it will be beneficial for both as a starter also and for speed control method also. So for phase round or slip ring induction motor, this method of addition of external resistance can be used for both the things, for starting methods also and for also speed control. How speed control is done? If we are increasing this R2, then we need to definitely increase this S in order to maintain torque constant, and if slip is increased, then surely the rotor speed will decrease. Now coming to the cascaded control method. Cascaded means we are connecting two networks in series. Okay, in series or together. So two three-phase induction motors will be connected through a common shaft. If they're connected through a common shaft, means they're rotating at same speed. So one motor will be the main motor, the other will be the auxiliary motor. So three phase supply is given to the stator of the main motor, and the auxiliary motor will be driving at a slip frequency. Okay, because the main motor, the rotor of the main motor will be having slip frequency, or the rotor frequency Fr equals to S times the supply frequency. Okay, so Fr equals to S times Fs. So it will be, the auxiliary motor will be driven at slip frequency from the main motor. So in this we can get four different kind of speeds. When only main induction motor is working, then we will be getting, suppose it is having P1 number of poles, then we will be getting speed as such. When the auxiliary is only working, then we will be getting speed as such, where P2 is the number of poles for the auxiliary motor. If they are connected as a cumulative cascading, cumulative means addition. Okay, so then the speed will be 120 into supply frequency divided by P1 plus P2. And if they are connected in differential cascading, differential means subtraction, so it will be P1 minus P2. Now coming to speed control by injecting slip frequency EMF into the rotor side. Okay, now when we are adding resistance to the rotor circuit, some part of, if we'll be adding resistance, then definitely there will be I square R losses. Okay, some extra I square R losses. So it is known as slip power. So efficiency will reduce. Okay, by that addition of external resistance to the rotor circuit, efficiency is going to reduce. So in order this power which is lost, if we supply back to improve the overall efficiency of the three-phase induction motor, then this is known as injecting the slip frequency EMF into the rotor side. Now how we will recover that power? By connecting some external source of EMF of slip frequency to the rotor circuit. So that injected EMF in the rotor side, it can either oppose the rotor induced EMF or it can add the rotor induced EMF. So we'll be getting two options. If it is opposing the rotor induced EMF, then rotor resistance will increase. Okay, so the speed will get decrease, and if the injected EMF of the main rotor will add up with the main rotor EMF, then the rotor resistance will decrease and speed will be increase. Thank you, students. Thank you for listening.